I'm back with Chris, and we're back on Project Princess 72. Chris, how far in are we now?
We're at the stage where we finished all of the strip out. There's a lot of units being made off the boat independently, and all that work's well underway. We're just starting the rebuild stage, so most of the heavy engineering work's done, except we've got some work in the engine room that needs doing, which we'll show you. And it's at the stage now where things are starting to go back in covered.
Brilliant. And how many weeks are we in?
We're about 6 weeks in.
Brilliant.
About 6 weeks in.
Let's have a look then, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated to see it. I haven't seen any of this yet, just to mention. We haven't been through this one.
So the saloon is obviously the biggest physical area, and is having one of the largest amounts of work in it. So all the headlining's out, all the looms have been redone for putting new lighting features. One of the difficult things, all these side linings have been out and they've all been recovered. The headlining feature has been mocked up and is away being CNC'd, so that's being machined as we speak. Air conditioning is a big upgrade on this boat, so it's having new chillers and new blowers everywhere. Almost triple the amount of cooling air on the boat.
Wow.
So a big engineering project in itself.
And that's because of where the boat's going?
Yes, that's right. That's right. And it was manufactured with the entry-level specification, and it's ending up with the highest level of specification.
Understood.
What that means is in particular areas like under this sofa here, where the old, you'll just see it under that mock-up, you'll see the new fan units going in. But the spaces that those fan units are in they're significantly larger than the old ones.
Right.
There's more of them. So we have to generate the space for them. So that's where in this deconstruction phase you get into some of the more difficult problems. And then once we start to recover, then it becomes relatively more simple, more straightforward.
Understood.
So another big job in this area here is the televisions going up in size.
Right.
What that means is that you need bigger height, basically.
Of course.
So the only way to get the height without ruining the beautiful window line that was originally designed into the boat is to lower the television into the pocket into the engine room.
Oh wow!
So that it comes up and doesn't ruin the window line from the get-go. It's easy to fit a bigger television, but you'd ruin when it was down. It'd be higher.
Understood.
So it's those sort of things. That's where the real attention to detail comes from the design team.
Yeah. That's amazing. Let's wander through a bit further, shall we?
Yes. Yeah. So this is the mock-up of the sofa that's going in. There's a custom unit being built here. We spoke about it before. That's off. All the stonework's been patterned, the stone's being manufactured for us at the moment, the marquetry's being manufactured for us at the moment, the internal started in the workshop, so all that's underway.
And these are the drawings here, I'm guessing.
They are. That's the iteration of where we've ended. This is a painted unit, beautiful stainless stripe through it. This is this will be a pop-up cocktail bar.
Oh wow, okay.
It will be beautiful. It's being made with the most beautiful hand-picked stone. That's going to match the poofy in the saloon. And all that has been hand-selected by our design team.
Wow.
So, as I say, liners are in. Ceiling is the next big one. This is obviously a big area which will frighten the living life out of most people.
Absolutely. So, that looks like it's been an almighty crash.
Well, it's been carefully taken apart.
Right.
This is a selection of different moulds and panels that have come out. They're then stripped. They're then put back in, dry fitted, retested, adjusted for size. I'll show you one of the work packs in a minute. You'll see the work packs have got all of the materials that we're using, so the tradesmen can size up the units that are being worked on and don't necessarily make new ones. And you see we have to go back to the original construction method. So this big trough at the front, it would have been the first piece that went into the boat.
Okay.
So we've got to disassemble it to get to that.
Right. So that's the last bit when you
start rebuilding again.
Understood. Yeah. So if that's the first bit that goes in, it's the last bit to come out, sort of thing. Yeah.
Exactly,
understood.
Exactly.
Wow.
So all that's in our upholstery shop being worked on at the moment.
Yep.
Another aircon. There's an extra blower put in there. Some more capacity in aircon. All the piping's got to be increased in size, so therefore increasing the piping size is easy, but making the voids bigger for the piping to go through
Of course.
is much more complicated.
Yeah, I can see that. Wow. And how many people have you got working on here?
We've got in total, on and off the boat, we've probably got close to 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So this is coming off.
So
Yeah.
we'll come in.
Hi, Chris.
Can we just pop in there, guys?
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second?
we'll
We
get
just,
out your way. Yeah.
we just slide around. We just slide around if we can.
I'll come this way, shall I?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
We should do this to music.
Yeah. It's like one of those clown cars where people keep coming.
I went into the master cabin just now. There were so many of our guys in there. I think it was like cramming them into a mini in the old days. Same. It's the same story in virtually every area. So the underlying engineering works have been done. They're running the looms in, taking all of the liners out, getting back to that stage where you can start to rebuild.
Right.
We leave things in like the old carpet, the old mattresses, because they're soft. They reduce the noise. They make it easy to clean up when the lads are cleaning up.
Yeah.
So this cabin, you can see it's stripped back to the bare. All the sides are out. All the port light liners are out. Headboards in construction. The new headboard design there. And then behind you, there's going to be we're changing the bulkhead shape because we are laying a mirrored TV in there.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is very difficult to put a serious sized television in this room.
Right.
Because all the wall spaces are used.
Yes, of
So
course.
we're ending up with, we want to keep the vanity unit, and therefore we're having a special TV made for us.
Got you.
So all the bathrooms are stripped out from last time. See, all the stonework's gone. That's all been patterned, so we make full-size wooden templates of every piece of stone we want to make. That's all been made, so that's weeks of work for one of the carpenters. Those are all been made, sent to the stone guy to start fabricating.
Wow.
You can see we're relaminating these out. These are having a beautiful mosaic on them, if you remember from our first visit.
Yep.
Again, that's all been patterned off. That's in construction for us. So where we say there's 20 guys working on it here, I would guess in the supply chain there's probably 20 or 30 others.
Wow. Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah. It's not just your guys, is it?
No. At the moment, there is a significant effort going on everywhere, all over the country on this one.
Right.
So
That's mad, isn't it?
it is. It's fun, to be honest with you. And when you work with a lot of these guys, both the trades guys and the suppliers for donkey's years,
Yeah.
it's like the old days. It's like developing a boat in the old days.
Right. Must get stressful though.
It doesn't get. Sometimes things don't work to plan.
Right.
And then you have to think your way around it.
Yeah.
So it's not stress as in it drives you crazy. You just, every day flies by because you're constantly dealing with things that have not quite gone to plan. Therefore
Right.
you have to replan.
Okay, so there's a lot of problem solving.
Yes, that's right. But the days fly by.
Never bored.
Never bored. Same in the day head. You see that it's stripped out to its fullest extent now.
Wow.
So you won't recognise any of these surfaces. None of these surfaces will be on show when we finished. Stay there. It's exactly the same in the starboard cabin.
Yeah.
A collection of guys working their way through one of the problems of today, I would guess. So, to say, most of these panels are now stripped, remade. There's a television unit going in here. We're putting in a very high-end sound system. All those cables have been running. Now it's now time to start putting back the look of the boat.
Yeah.
Look and feel.
That is properly stripped back, isn't it?
It is.
Fantastic.
And then down into the master. Can we?
Yeah.
Thank you. Chris is a phenomenal carpenter, but his taste in music is pretty awful. So we have to put up with that. This one's having, again, like the saloon, an enormous amount of work.
Yeah.
So that bulkhead is probably half constructed at the moment from what it was. These are part of the headboard features, new headlining panel, new lighting, new audio, new television going in here, the works.
Wow.
And then exactly the same in his bathroom.
You can see where these boats are built from, can't you?
You can. You can't. No, this is the sound deadening on the engine room bulkhead.
Ah, okay. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, you can't get more stripped back than we've done.
No.
And we need to do. But you know, it'd be fascinating. You'd be fascinating to see the change from this one to the finished article.
Totally.
It's going to be something special.
And this on the wall here again, plans, I guess.
These are the work instructions for the guys. This is the mosaic that's going up.
Yep.
These will be the detail of what they do every day. When we were coming off the boat, one of the design team was off there. There's a meeting with all of the different trades on the boat. Any views that need to come up over what needs to be done that day. The design details then recorded, so that if there is any deviation to plan, we can track it. No, it's a full production environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the organisation of it is the key, I guess, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. It's exactly the same as when we were boat building.
Yeah.
It's the key skill is planning and logistics.
Right.
Because there's just everything's in small volume, and obviously in our world it's in tiny volume compared to the old days.
Yep.
But every component needs to be there to get productivity with the guys that are building the boat.
Of course, because I guess it's
all there for.
It's
we're all there to service those guys. That's our job.
Yeah, and I guess there's got to be something along the lines of the fact that if you've got something that is delayed in terms of parts or whatever, and that's in a schedule,
Exactly.
you can't go beyond it
Exactly.
until certain bits are done, I would presume.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So we'll know what's critical, and then we'll have alternative paths already pre-planned,
Right.
so that if we have a hold up here, the guys can be productive making that unit, because
Okay.
that has no involvement with anybody.
Right.
So you save that.
Yeah.
You save those jobs for if you do have a little hiccup.
Yeah.
So no, but we're more or less on plan to where we need to be.
Okay.
That's the exciting thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Not quite in the same order as we originally planned,
Right.
but as far as days of work complete and signed off,
Yeah.
we're more or less on plan,
Brilliant.
which is a small miracle.
We're looking good for Southampton Boat Show then.
We are.
Superb. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. These are the new air conditioning units.
Uh-huh.
They've been in dry fitted. All the plumbing's been altered down there. We'll show you in a second. One of the Caterpillar are due in. I've started this week. They're due next week to take out the intercoolers, they're big and heavy.
Yeah.
And they need
Imagine.
space, so we're having to create some space for them.
Okay. Wow, this looks very different to the last time I saw it. So that is the sunbed there.
That is the sunbed. That's the sunbed.
Yeah.
Taken out.
Yeah.
Glass in this, putting back the structure.
Yeah.
Rails are off, been repatterned, digitised.
Of course. Yeah.
The teak guys have been in, digitised the teak.
Yep.
So that's being manufactured. Side decks get delivered to us next week.
Yep.
So we start putting the teak down. Plexis have been in today on the hardtop roof.
Okay.
So every day there's people visiting us.
That's the canopy people, isn't it?
It is. It is in our support functions. So
Yeah.
no, it's all systems go.
Wow. Yeah, that is. That's remarkable.
I'm up country tomorrow visiting a company that's making some beautiful tables for us to sign them off.
Yep.
So it's yeah, it's constant. It's constant.
Fantastic. That is amazing. It is amazing to see. I've struggled to get my head around the sheer organisational side of it. So many moving parts.
Yeah, there's thousands of components, thousands of activities that have to happen in a coordinated manner.
Yeah.
And that's where experience comes in.
Sure.
And you know, luckily I've got a bunch of fantastic guys around me that are very, very competent, can think outside their field of expertise.
Yep.
And work with our colleagues to make things happen. So here, for instance, we're putting a backlit motive on the outside of here.
Okay. Yeah.
And cameras. And how we get the cabling to them is quite complicated.
Right. Yeah.
We've just agreed with the owner this morning to fit Starlink. So it wants to have a very high-end Wi-Fi system.
Yep.
And is having Starlink as a backup. So again, now we need to get, where's that going to go? How do we get the cable in before the carpenters start to build in that particular area?
Of course.
The cable needs to run.
Yeah, the worst thing in the world would be to get something in and then think, hang on, we need to be behind that.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So do you want to pop down to the engine room?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pop down there, Danny. There's a bit of a squeeze for someone like myself. So one of the big jobs in here is obviously these engines are having a 1,000-hour service, which is quite a significant service.
Right.
And the big job is there's a intercooler inside that cast iron block that's got to come out.
Okay.
In both engines.
Right.
That goes away for pressure cleaning. So we're taking out the air conditioning frames and getting access to them so they can.
Oh, of course, because they were on top of here, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, you know, we got good support from Finning there. They're in the process of doing the service for us, but obviously we've got to create the access.
Yeah. That's amazing. Now there are two questions that cropped up quite a bit on the previous video, which I thought would be worth asking you. The first is, what happens to all the materials that you take out?
So when we first started, and we've been super supported by this owner, is if the equipment is usable, we sell it and we support a number of local charities.
Okay.
So this boat, because it had been bought by the owner, and it had a very good owner before.
Right.
It was in nice condition in many people's eyes.
Yeah.
Just old fashioned.
Yeah.
It had lots of bedding and toweling and all that stuff went to charity.
Okay.
The old nav kit we will sell.
Yep.
And then that money goes to support a number of kids football clubs or charities around. So we try to use as much as we can, because we have the world's changing on the way that people look at reusing product, and you know, there is a real responsibility for everyone now to have a view of what happens environmentally, and we think this is a real good addition to our storyline, to be honest, as what we do as a company.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Absolutely. And the other question, which I thought was quite an interesting one, you're obviously putting a lot of new stonework into the boat, and new TVs and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How do you calculate any differences that's going to make, or indeed does it make any differences in terms of the weight distribution of the boat, in terms of, for example, whether the boat would end up with more weight on one side and having a list on it? How it affects performance, that kind of. How do you sort of manage all of that?
It does, but what you do is we start off with a plan.
Yeah.
And it's not so critical on the bigger boat because they can take the weight. And this particular model is fantastic at taking weight.
Right.
But that's a coincidence in reality.
Yeah.
But we just finished another boat where it had some significant weight added because it had a large amount of domestic batteries added, so it could go overnight silently.
Okay. Yeah.
And a big inverter. So what you do, we start with the plan of the boat, and then you look at how many kilos meter from the center of buoyancy you believe the boat's at,
Right.
movement, and then you try and even that up and spread that out during the development process.
Got you.
So the last thing in the world you want to do is ballast the boat.
Yeah.
There might be a tiny bit of ballast added. I used to be paranoid about it, to be honest, because it's wasted energy.
Of course,
Customer
yeah.
doesn't want that at all.
No, because you're dragging around weight for no reason, aren't you?
And then there are some big elements: batteries, fixed heavy items, batteries, clarifiers. This boat's having another black tank fitted.
Okay.
So again, you make sure that those are going in areas that are very close to the centre of buoyancy.
Right. Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But no, it's complex.
Yeah.
It is complex.
Yeah. You can't just throw stuff at it and hope for the best, can you?
No, you can't. We said before, that's why refits of this sort of standard need to be with people that have got the experience in doing it.
Yeah.
In reality.
Yeah.
Because we've all learned by making lots of mistakes and over the years.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Brilliant. Well, I think that's about it. I think that's been very comprehensive. It has been absolutely fascinating, Chris.
Oh, you're
Been
welcome.
Really,
You're welcome.
really interesting to see that. As ever, guys, let us know what you think of that one. That is part 2. If you've not seen part 1, then I'll put a link to that in the description, but definitely worth seeing the before of this boat if you've not already. And of course there will be an after, which is going to be so we filmed in September at the Southampton Boat Show. And of course, if you're at the Southampton Boat Show, come and check it out. It'd be worth seeing, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. So let us know what you think as ever in the comments, and we'll catch you on one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.